My name is Turlough Daly. I'm a finance manager with Telus International Ireland. Um, my background is a practice trained accountant, but really always wanted to kind of get into industry. That's where, my kind of interest had been kind of going through school, kind of come from a family who had their own business and kind of really always saw how that kind of work ethic, that interest in terms of a changing dynamic, rolling with the punches type of career gives you. And while I'm not an entrepreneur myself, I always kind of like to surround myself with that kind of those thinking people. So once I decided I'd go down the route of becoming an accountant, it was with the view to going in the route that would get me there quickest, which was through the CPA and Accounting Technicians Ireland as well. So I started in Accounting Technicians and then moved into CPA here in Cork, and joined one of the medium-sized practices called Nathan's here in Cork, and worked with them for summer work internships, while I was doing my studying as well, and would highly recommend that route as well, because all your summer work, all the months that you can accumulate will all contribute to your number of years that you have to complete to become fully qualified. So passing exams is one part, but you need to get the experience under your belt too, to be fully qualified. So take advantage of those opportunities if you ever get them. And more than that, go look for them, reach out and try and find them, knock on doors, see if anybody's got some summer work. It might be like Cormac said, bank reconciliations, but it's one of the building blocks for any accountant. If you can kind of understand, the banking side of things and the AP, the rest will all flow and it'll become much more easy for you to kind of understand and progress your career through accountancy. So when I finished my training in 2007, I jumped into a BPO, business process outsourcing. So a company here who really has a lot of business in Ireland, independent news and media, a lot of the utilities, the government agencies, and worked in the accounts team there on the Sunday World newspaper, which is one of the outsourced roles that they had, and worked remotely in Cork with the finance director up in Dublin. And that's also a good building block. You're not side by side with your manager, but it kind of teaches you a really good way of being an effective communicator and sharing information that's easy for somebody to pick up and understand, and be good at doing your job as well and getting the monthly accounts out. So spent a couple of years in that side of the industry, and then got the opportunity to join a tech startup, again here in Cork. So joined them as their CFO in 2012 and stayed with them for nearly 5 years as they scaled. So his involvement there in terms of raising money from high net worth individuals, venture capital, Enterprise Ireland, to try and grow that team. So we grew it from about 3 to, at its height, about 20 people, and reached out to the CPA when I was in this role to bring some trainee accountants in. So as we scaled, a lot of my role would have been in fundraising, and investor relations, I guess, would have been a key thing as we branched out into the US as well. So CPA was a great ground for us to be able to go and get some trainees in, and a couple of them went on and became fully qualified accountants, which is great, from a personal satisfaction point of view of seeing that and being able to provide that opportunity to somebody. Was great and really worthwhile. And when I finished up in that company, I took the role of finance manager here in Telus International Ireland, which used to be called VoxPro. So I suppose would recently have been in the news as it's been acquired by Telus International late last year. And now, so VoxPro would have been a high turnover, I guess, SME within Ireland, and overnight it became a multinational. So over the past 2 years, the acquisition started in 2017 and was completed in 2019. we've been transitioning to the multinational world. So we have enhanced our team. We've added accountants and accounts assistants. We've hired people, you know, in terms of internal audit, and we have people who are helping out on the tax side of things. We're going through restructuring at the moment as well through the group. So it's a really interesting space to be in right now. I'm here 3 years, and I think like Des was saying, no 2 days are the same, and no 2 weeks are the same, and you're constantly evolving as the multinational world is being thrust upon us. Telus are going through an acquisition spree at the moment, and we were one of about 5 companies that they've acquired over the last 3 years. So they're really growing and really consolidating, and we're taking a lot of business into Ireland, and some of the business that we've had here in Ireland that we would have grown ourselves, we've offshored to their other locations. So what Telus do is they're another BPO, and they do a lot of customer service for a lot of the, well, not a lot, for a number of the tech unicorns that I suppose that have spread out of Silicon Valley over the last couple of years. So in the financial services space, in the travel space, and yeah, a couple of others, I guess, like the tech space as well. Travel's hit us hard this year with COVID. So we're trying to adapt to that, and we're doing a lot of work at the moment in terms of trying to forecast and see where we're going to be and see what's the right direction for us as an entity in Ireland, to try and consolidate our position here, to try and protect our revenue, to protect our EBITDA. But you know, one of the big things that we're trying to focus is our team members. We've got about 1,000 team members in Ireland. And a lot of that is multilingual support that we provide for our partners. So we have a lot of people who would have come and relocated to Dublin and Ireland. And as part of that, they come from many different backgrounds. So they come to learn English, they come to learn skills, they come to learn the language and to live in a different country. But one of the, I suppose, opportunities that it gives them is that, you know, their background might have been in something completely different, and you know, being a customer service agent is a gateway for them to hopefully try and find something in their real interest, you know, to forge a career. So what we did a couple of years ago is we started a program internally about reaching out to agents who may have come here who had a finance background in their home country. Some of them may have gone down the route of looking to become an accountant or an accounts assistant through accounting technicians or CPA. So we reached out and we found a couple of people who did have that background, and we offered them a chance to intern, so we could give them a chance to evaluate them and see if for them to evaluate whether this is something they wanted to do. And that's been really successful for us. We've had about 6 trainees come off the floor. So agents who would have been coming here potentially for 1 or 2 years, who are with us, you know, 4 or 5 years, because of the opportunities that we've been able to provide to them, and a career path and career supports that we've been able to do. So we're looking for that again at the moment. So we have roles that are open internally, but we have roles that we're looking to hire externally as well. So we're looking at people who are in the CPA career path route, and seeing if we can help them as well by providing a role within our team. It is very dynamic. It would start in the APA and AR space, real, I suppose, traditional accounts assistant role within an industry. But one thing that we commit to doing is to give them training in all aspects of the finance team. So for part of the training would be working with the team member who works on budgeting and forecasting, revenue, account management, and we've got about 30 clients that we perform customer service for. So we'd be working and looking at revenue, gross margin, EBITDA performance on a monthly basis, as well as mid-month we'd be trying to look at flash forecasts in terms of how they're doing, and then working with the operations managers in real time to be able to help them see where they're trending to end the month. And so, pardon me, you know, whether that's kind of managing ratios in terms of team members that they have, and hours, effectively our currency is hours. That's what we sell. So making sure that they're as being as efficient and lean as they can be while meeting a client order. So it's very broad experience that we're able to provide. We are very committed to career development plans, and that's one of the benefits of multinational in terms of what they've been able to give us. We would have tried to do that in the past. It would have been very ad hoc. We've been a lot more strict around that over the last couple of years. You'd have weekly one-to-ones with your manager, and you'd have objective settings. So it really helps a trainee know what they're hired to do, what they're expected to do, and they have an interaction with their manager as well in terms of making sure that they can sign up to it, to what they're being asked to do, and that they see the value of what you're trying to provide for them as well. So it's very mutual in that regard. You'll only be as good as the support that you're provided, and we're very committed to that. The role is based here in Cork. It would be office based, but we're all remote at the moment, and we have no idea when that's going to change. We're looking at the team members who would go back on site would be the frontline agents. And certainly between now and the end of the year, we'd see maybe 20% of capacity would be going back on. As I mentioned, we have about 1,000 team members that we have here in Ireland, and we managed to transition every single one of those, including back office support to a work from home scenario over about 20 days, which is phenomenal, and really protected our ability to provide a really good service to our customers. Within the Telus organization, we did it faster and more successfully than anybody else, and we're able to support some of the other geos who had trouble getting people working from home for various reasons, because we would have mutual accounts. So it was really, now that's an IT phenomenon that they managed to do that, and kudos to them. But for us, we were able to carry on business as usual with the environment that we're in now. So that the role that we'd be looking to hire, or the roles, would be work from home, certainly for the next 3 to 6 months. And again, one of the benefits that we have is, we really do have a great company culture. We have an online social media platform, I guess, internally, where team members can engage, teams can engage, and we do a lot of our meetings by way of Zoom and Hangouts and stuff like that. And while it's not ideal, it works. But we do try and do these extra added value things for our teams to try and create that engagement and that interaction with each other, because it's certainly better than telephone calls. So that's a little bit about me, about the industry that we operate in, and about the role that we have. One of the things I was asked to talk about is how data analytics has crept into the finance spectrum over the last number of years, and it's great to see that it's such a focus now of the syllabus with CPA. And what I could just say here is anybody who's going down this path, enhance this element of accountancy, because it's one of the most interesting. It builds on everything that you learn in terms of being an accountant and looking at numbers, but it allows you to add value across a business, not just within the finance side of things. So internally, what we do here in Telus is we've hired somebody who's got this skill set and is really able to help us in finance in terms of our forecasting and in terms of our real-time information that we can provide out to the account managers, and in terms of information that goes back to the clients themselves. It's something that's creeping into practice as well. I know our auditors use analytics to help in their sample testing, in terms of having a really streamlined audit. You can be really proactive as an industry in terms of being ready for internal audits, interim audits, and your year-end audits, because the advancement of analytics can kind of help you preempt a lot of the questions that are, or the requests that are going to come in terms of backup support. So it's there in industry, it's there in practice, and as I say, it's something to embrace. If you can kind of, a lot of it is Excel based. All the the coding and aspects. It's a new language, you know. It's just it's where accountancy is going in terms of the technological advances, like Cormac was saying. So my advice is really kind of take advantage of this. You know, it might take a little bit longer to learn than the nuts and bolts of being an accountant, but embrace it, because it will add value and it'll allow you to move around in your career, and hopefully that means up in terms of finance manager, financial controller, whatever. The world is your oyster if you can embrace this aspect of accountancy as well. Yeah, I know we're kind of cramming on, and there's Michael to talk next. So best of luck with all your careers, everybody. I really hope you choose CPA and that you get a great benefit of being part of this organization.